proud that people are out here. This truly is the 99%. This is the majority of citizens are being screwed over by this economy, while the wealthiest, the millionaires, the billionaires are getting their tax breaks and their subsidies, and they're only paying 15% capital gains tax, while the majority of working people are paying way more than that. And then you got the AstroTurf Tea Party movement, which is funded by the millionaires and billionaires and the Koch brothers. We're gonna hear from Jeff, who's gonna tell us why he closed his account.
I got sick of paying fee after fee after fee after fee while these banks don't pay anything and all they get is our money. How many times have we bailed these banks out, and what do we get? Overcharge fees, late fees, this fee, $5 fee to take your money out, one after another after another after another, to take my money out of my own account. They trust me money? Why? Enough. Enough with these big banks. The last thing we need to do is put more money in these banks. After trillions and trillions of dollars of our tax money, through bailouts, through Fed action, they have enough. Let's take our money back. Let's do our own thing. Let's do our own thing. And no more corporate bullshit. That's it.
Yeah, this is truly aggressive to see people coming out into the streets and realizing that through democratic institutions we can hold government accountable, and we can hold the corporations and the big banks accountable by taking our money out of the banks, putting them into local credit unions so that the money is invested in our communities instead of going to rich bankers and executive bonuses and salaries. Right now in this country, the 400 people with the most money in this country have more money than the bottom 150 million people. That's how much income inequality has grown in this country. And to just ask the rich to pay their fair share, you hear cries of that's socialism. Really increasing the marginal income tax rate from 36 to 39.5% like it was during the Clinton years when the economy was booming. That's socialism? I don't think so. What we need is a reprioritization, and we need to have people standing up for their rights, and that's why I'm here to support free speech, the right of people to peacefully assemble, and that's why all of you are here to support transfer your money out of the bank today. Get it in. This is our protest organizer, Diego Nov. I'm going to pass the mic back there.
He wants to talk about banks and the war profiteers.
Yeah.
Here he is.
Can we bring the Veterans for Peace flag up here? Who has that? Any veteran that wants to come up here? Remember, we are all in this together. Banks have profited off of these wars. The deficit was $5 trillion in 2000. Now it's almost $15 trillion. The banks have made money off the deaths of over 6,000 troops that we've had deployed. The banks have foreclosed illegally in violation of the Soldiers and Sailors Relief Act on members that have been deployed to Iraq and Afghanistan. That disgusts me that the banks would do that to our soldiers, sailors, and airmen while they're deployed. But we are all in this together. I want you to know that the whole amount of taxes that you and I and corporate America has paid, none from Bank of America, have gone to finance the war. The budget, discretionary budget, is $2.9 trillion. We have borrowed $1.5 trillion to pay for the deficit, to pay for the rest of the government. So simply, you need to realize 100% of your taxes are going to pay for these wars, and the government is borrowing the rest to run the rest of the government and giving all these tax breaks to places like Bank of America that made $4.9 billion in 2009 and paid zero in taxes. That's disgusting. and tired of the predatory nature of these financial institutions. What they have done is they've created a con game. When they win, they privatize the profits. When they lose, they socialize the losses. Does that sound fair to you? No. So we need to hold our legislators accountable for that. And the problem is that corporate America now runs our politicians. They have completely sold out, and that's another big problem, that while we are here, it needs to be resolved. Income inequality is our third biggest reason that we're all here, and when you have 20% of America having the same wealth as the bottom 80% in our country, that is disgusting. The tax breaks that were given by the Republicans and then continued on the Democrats, the top 1%, right? We're the 99%. We are the 99%. The top 1% got 40% of those tax breaks. That is disgusting. We need to change that, and the leaders out there, the political elite, need to realize that this Occupy Together movement is not going away. And I want to thank you all for coming out today, and thank you for listening to me speak.
It doesn't work.
Banks need money.
They need money.
They need money to lend out.
They need money to lend out.
Those loans go to small businesses.
Those loans go to small businesses.
And in order to make bigger loans,
In order to make bigger loans
and make more money from those loans,
and make more money from those loans,
they need more money.
they need more money.
So what do?
So what do?
They take your money
They take your money
in fees.
in fees.
They are extracting wealth
They are extracting wealth
from the 99%.
from the 99%.
This is institutionalized.
This is institutionalized.
These are some of the most profitable corporations in America.
These are some of the most profitable corporations in America.
They are not going to give it up
They are not going to give it up
unless we make them.
unless we make them.
Thank you.
Second is, keep in mind that we do play a part in not bringing our awareness quick enough to something like this. This can't happen again. The credit unions have the ability to end up becoming institutionalized. Please be aware that if we start seeing things happening, looking back, hindsight is 20/20, and being prepared for things like this to happen again, we have to stand up sooner. We have to be prepared and ready that credit unions can have the ability to end up just like this. So we need to understand, be ready, be knowledgeable, be educated. Please do your research, be educated. I'm still working on it myself. I don't know a lot, but I'm educating myself, and that is our strongest tool. Please educate yourself.
Close this account today, and there's hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people across the country. This is only the beginning. Only the beginning. So, take a moment and think about this. Remember, every elected official, they have the power to decide, are they on the side of the 99% or the 1%? In San Diego, the city council has the power to fine any bank that forecloses on a property and doesn't clean it up. Do we have the power to make them do that?
Yes.
All right. At the state level, can we get our state legislators, even though they take all this money from the banks, to say, if you're going to try and foreclose on a property, you at least need to give someone an answer on a modification before you foreclose?
Yes.
That's fair? Can we win that too? All right. Do you think we can get a state initiative to actually get a tax on the 1% so we have money for schools, to clean up our neighborhoods, to clean up our boroughs? Do you think that we can get a national law where every time these Wall Street banks, they want to sell your mortgage to somebody else, they are actually going to pay a tax on it? Can we win this as well? And are we prepared to fight back until every single one of these banks, every person that's underwater,
is going to make their mortgage whole, so they're not trying to pay for something that they're going to be behind the rest of their lives. What we need is a principal reduction program, so if you're underwater, you're back to whole. Do we agree with that? Are we willing to fight for it? And, well, not quite last, but the next thing a lot of people are talking about, there's a lot of people who are in danger of foreclosure, eviction notices are out. Do you think it's time to start occupying these homes and telling the banks that we're not leaving? Well, I agree with all that. I'm glad that people are here. I'm glad that people are fighting every day. So what do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Aloha, everyone. Really happy to see everyone coming out. Now, I'm a Buddhist nun. What do I know about money? Mic check. Mic check. And mic check. Buddhists don't have much money, but we believe in alleviating suffering. And there are lots of people suffering around the country. We want to help all these people and to help stop the perpetuation of financial oppression in this country. Now, occasionally we like to help people in other countries too. I go to send money to India. They charge $45. This could support a number of people for a year in India. It's not fair. So yesterday, I'm happy to say, I went down and pulled out the money and put it in the credit union. I'd like to put in a word here for civility. The 99% need to come together and act as a team. Okay, we need to work together. We need to work as a team. And the 99% include a lot of people, a lot of different people. Right? Strange bedfellows. But in that 99%, we're going to find Christians and Jews and Buddhists and Muslims. We're going to find fundamentalists of all stripes. We need to be able to work together and work in harmony together. Okay? So that means respecting people's beliefs, respecting people's approaches. This is the way we'll really be successful. This is the way we'll really be strong, because we'll be able to work together in peace and harmony with compassion for all. Thank you.
Just wanted to mention, I used to hate politics, so I didn't get involved in it. And then after the Gulf of Mexico oil spill, I realized that part of it was my fault for not paying attention to what was going on. And so as I was protesting that and started getting involved, I ended up joining the Egyptian Revolution January 25th. We took down a dictator by protesting, and then we took down Gaddafi. I joined the Libya Revolution. Right now I'm trying to help Syria. And people who are protesting just because they want the right to vote are having their children tortured to death in front of them. You can just Google it. About approximately 25 people are being killed every day for just protesting they want the right to vote. And this has been going on for 7 months. And then the Occupy Wall Street started, and I was so busy working internationally that I hadn't got a chance to get over here. And I was up in my apartment, and I heard you guys down in the street, and I was like, oh my God, there they are. So I run down and join you all. But I just, like the Buddhist friend mentioned about people joining together regardless of our differences, looking what we have in common. And, you know, my heart really goes out to these people in Syria. 3,000 people have been murdered for protesting the right to vote. And like 30,000 people are still detained, probably being tortured right now as I'm speaking. And many children, even 8-year-olds, have been raped in front of their parents. Little boys' penises cut off. I mean, as a torture for asking for the right to vote. So as we're protesting and taking down banks and dictators, you know, just keep in mind, you know, to support people around the world who are also fighting for the right to vote. Okay, thank you.